about social and emotional learning. With social and emotional learning, one of the most significant benefits of it is the ability to enhance, improve the relationships. Remember, our one of the component was relationship building. So by better understanding and managing our own and others' emotion, this can lead to stronger connections with our families, with our friends, with our colleagues at our different institutions. So that sometimes you do not become a loner, you are not alone, you can relate to others. If you have got any issues, you can go and discuss with others in our institutions. So we are looking at fostering empathy, communication skills, conflict resolution abilities, and these are all essential for building and maintaining healthy relationship. And also it has been proven that social and emotional learning, it leads to enhanced academic and career success. It is not only beneficial for personal relationships, but also for academic and professional success, whereby our students end up possessing strong social and emotional skills, and which are more likely lead to communicating effectively with others, which is very essential for both academic and professional success, working well in teams with others, because now you have fostered those collaboration, cooperation, empathy skills, making it easier for our students to work effectively in group settings. And we can also develop those leadership skills that are needed, because when we are working in a group, we have leaders, so they also need to have those leadership skills. So social and emotional learning equips our students, ourselves, with the emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills needed to become effective leaders. And also, it has also got a profound impact on individuals' emotional health and well-being. We know that in a campus where we are, in our colleges, in our educational institutions, we have our students who come from different backgrounds. They come to the campuses that we have with different problems that we need as educational institutions, as organizations, on how to help them to solve the problems that they have, so that we reduce their strengths, their stresses, we reduce their anxiety. So with social and emotional learning, it also helps increase the greater emotional health and satisfaction. Sometimes when our students are not emotionally well, it also affects their academic success. It affects the way they deal with others. We've heard of our students, our children who have gone beyond stress level, depression, some of them even having suicidal tendencies, because they cannot cope with the pressure of the work, the pressure that they have, that they get in our institutions. So with social and emotional learning, it equips our students with those tools that they need to cope with challenges and setbacks. And this then helps them to increase their self-esteem, and it helps our students to develop that positive sense of self and build confidence. And above all, like I said, it is very essential for handling disagreements peacefully. When they have disagreements among themselves, when they have disagreements against different faculties or different lectures, it helps them to handle disagreements constructively. So by understanding their own emotions and the emotions of others, as students can also approach conflicts with empathy and respect. And SEL can also do that to help our students to develop effective communication skills and problem solving. And besides that, there are so many advantages that I can look at. For example, stronger networking. I've already talked about stress management, and as our faculties as lecturers is we also have a better leadership skills. Our SRCs, our students council groups, it helps them to understand their own emotions and the emotions of others. And as leaders, they can also motivate and inspire other students and guide their teams effectively, and also help them to build trust, resolve conflicts, and make sound decisions. So there is a lot, much benefit in terms of social and emotional learning. Now, did I skip something? Sorry, I think I need to go back. You can post some questions on the group if you have questions, so that I can also look at them later. Now we are now looking at the campus culture, and I would like to discuss the crucial role of social and emotional learning in fostering a supportive and inclusive campus culture. And as illustrated is in this image, we are looking at social and emotional learning is interconnected with three key elements, which are experiential learning, curriculum integration, and faculty development. And looking at experiential learning, we are looking at how we as educational institutions can provide our students with opportunities to apply their social and emotional learning skills in real world situations. Do we do simulations when we do our lectures? And this can include, for example, having community service projects whereby we send our students into the community and they interact and engage with people in the community. They can we can also do that experiential learning through internships and co-op programs. So by engaging our students in experiential learning, our students now, by engaging with people there in the community, when they go for internship, for attachment, they can develop empathy. They can also develop compassion. So by working with diverse communities and individuals, we also here, we are trying to build problem-solving skills because we want our students to tackle real-world challenges. Whatever challenges that they face, they are able to solve them without being emotionally drained, because now they possess those social and emotional learning skills that we have imparted in them. And besides that, through experiential learning, what are we saying here? We are imparting in our students collaboration with their peers and their mentors. They can work together, agree on certain aspects, disagree on certain aspects, and then they come to a common ground. And we can also look at our campus culture, looking at how we can integrate it into our curriculum. Here we are integrating social and emotional learning into the curriculum so that at least our students, for example, they are going for lectures. What is it? How can we integrate it into our curriculum? We can integrate it into curriculum across various disciplines that we have that can help our students develop the social and emotional learning skills in a meaningful and relevant way. For example, we are looking at social and emotional learning being incorporated, for example, into courses like psychology, where our students can discuss about it, sociology and leadership, management, so many disciplines that we can integrate it. So by integrating it into the curriculum, what is it that we are doing? We are trying to reinforce the social and emotional learning concepts throughout the whole academic year. We look at the various disciplines. What is it that how can we integrate social intelligence? How can we integrate emotional intelligence into our curriculum? We can also provide opportunities for practice in a variety of contexts. We can create a supportive learning environment where our students, they feel valued and respected. It's not only in learning. What is it that we do for our students so that they've got safe learning spaces, and this can enhance their self-esteem. They also feel valued. And then looking at the faculty development, we are providing faculty members with the training that is needed, because sometimes we talk about social and emotional learning, but our faculty members do not even know what it is all about. Do we hold workshops? Do we have training sessions? So we need to have that training and support on social and emotional learning, and this is very essential for creating a campus culture that prioritizes students' well-being. Do we have that faculty that is only dedicated for students' well-being? And for faculty development programs, these can help educators learn more about social and emotional learning, and we can also incorporate social and emotional learning into their own teaching for their own sessions in a meaningful and effective way. And we can also do this by creating a supportive classroom environment. You know that, for example, we have international students who are in a different country. They need to be used to that country. They have faced many challenges. What is it that we do to support them? So our students need to feel safe. We need to encourage them to express themselves. So campus culture is very, very important. And the goal of these three elements are needed to foster a supportive campus culture where all students feel valued, they feel respected, and they are included in their lessons. And so prioritizing social and emotional learning can create a campus where students feel connected to their peers and community, and they are equipped with the skills that they need to succeed, and they can thrive both academically and personally. So we can see that social and emotional learning, it is a very powerful tool for fostering supportive campus culture. Moving on, we can also help by infusing social and emotional learning, like I already said, into existing courses. And this is one of the most effective way to integrate it into our curriculum at higher school level. And this can be done in different ways, like I have already said, into different courses. We can also incorporate social and emotional learning activities into lessons. For example, when we are doing group discussions, I've seen group discussions where people end up even trying to fight because they have not agreed on certain points. I think you have all witnessed it. What is it that you do as campuses? And then we can also do this by role-playing exercises, service learning projects, like I said, sending them into the community for engagement. Then we can also connect our social and emotional learning to our course content. For example, linking social and emotional learning concepts to the subject matter for the course. For example, if it is a sociology or history class, our students can discuss, for example, the ethical implications of historical events that happen in our countries, and that's how we can infuse it. And we can also do this by demonstrating that social and emotional learning skills also in our own teaching practice. And we can also use it for cross-cultural, cross-curricular integration, whereby social and emotional learning concepts incorporated into multiple subjects rather than isolating them to specific courses. For example, our students could learn about empathy in different disciplines. For example, in a literature class, in a problem solving, in a mathematics class, we can teach about empathy. In a communication skills, in a language class, for example, you can talk about the story about the giraffe and the wolf, trying to infuse the communication skills into our students. And I can, if I try to do that one, I can take a lot of time. So there are so many ways we can do cross-curricular integration. And besides that, we can also do case studies and simulations. And this is a very powerful tool for helping our students apply social and emotional learning skills in real-world scenarios. And activities can provide our students with opportunities to practice empathy, perspective taking, and by understanding the emotions and experiences of others, because they are simulating, they can develop problem-solving skills, decision-making skills, and they can also analyze, for example, complex situations that may arise when they are simulation, and they can choose the best course of action. And we can also build communication and collaboration skills by working with others to achieve our common goals. So by infusing social and emotional learning into existing courses, we integrate through curriculum and using case studies. And these strategies have helped us as an institution, and they can also help our students develop those essential life skills that they need to succeed academically, socially, and personally. Then these are some of the ways that we can do. It's still on the same idea that we can also develop standalone social and emotional learning courses. We can have dedicated courses that are taken, or we can make use of interdisciplinary approach. Then for faculty development and training, I think I've already done this. We can have the workshops and training for everyone, for our students, for our lecturers, for everyone who is involved, who works in the campus, because they meet the students each and every day. It can be in the dining hall, it can be in the kitchen. So all those who work for the colleges, they need to go under workshops and training so that at least they are also not left behind, because sometimes we assume that they know. And then we can also have mentorship programs for our students, attach them to different people. For example, here I heard you talking about Dr. TPS. He's a very good mentor. So we can have those mentorship programs for our students, for our lecturers, so that at least they can speak to someone that they know and who can help them when they face challenges in their studies. Then we also need to create a supportive campus environment. Like I said, we should have those inclusive and welcoming spaces when you arrive at your institutions. For example, yes, I'm in a school, we've got a place whereby we've got a calm down session or a calm down bench where everyone can go and sit. When you see someone sitting there, we know that that person needs to be talked to. So we have our counselor. We should have counseling in our campuses, in our faculties, so that we can help students who are in trouble or who need to be talked to. And we also need to look at SEL focused initiative and inclusive and equitable policies. So we need to, one of the key components of a supportive campus environment is creating inclusive and welcoming spaces which can foster a sense of belonging and community among students. It can be students, it can be their parents, it can be anyone who is coming into the university. So we need to foster this sense of belonging, community among students, regardless of their background, regardless of their identity, and regardless also of their beliefs. Some ways to create inclusive, creative spaces include diversity and inclusion initiatives that we can also do in our campuses, whereby we can implement programs and policies that promote diversity and inclusion, and there is no exclusion. Then we can also have cultural events whereby everyone is involved. For example, in the institution that I work for, we have Carnival. We celebrate, yes, our Zimbabwean holiday, but we also celebrate Portuguese. We also look at Africa. We look at the different cultures that are there in Africa, because when we have students from different parts of the world. So we need to help our students also tolerate other people's beliefs and values. So you can hold cultural events and celebrations as well, looking at the different religions. We are looking at different cultures, so that at least our children, when we are living in a globalized village, we are living in a global village where they can end up in any country and they can understand what is happening in that country, and they are not socially or emotionally drained. They can fit in to any culture. Then we can also celebrate the cultural diversity of the campus community itself. Look at the student body that you have. Where are they from? Do they come from different backgrounds? Do they come from different cultures? We can then organize and celebrate that cultural diversity that we have, so that at least in the community that we are in, we tolerate each other's beliefs and values. So that's how we can celebrate the cultural diversity. And we can also make use of inclusive language and communication. And this can help create a supportive campus environment, because we are coming from different countries. We have different languages, so we can also use inclusive language and avoid stereotypes. And for mental health resources, moving on, how we can create a supportive campus environment, we need to provide accessible counseling and support services. At the school where I am, we have counseling. We have children, especially during COVID, 2020, 2021. Our children, they faced a lot of difficulties. Some, they've got parents who passed on. Some had relatives or close relatives. So we saw it that we needed to have a counseling department whereby our students could go for counseling after their parents had signed that they needed their children to go for counseling. But sometimes we just needed to counsel. So by providing accessible counseling and support services, this is an essential aspect of a supportive campus environment. And mental health resources can then help our students cope with the stress. As I had already said, that they are faced with so much. They were maybe with their peers, maybe with they're lagging behind with their submission of assignments, their dissertation, their thesis. They are not relating well with the people whom they are sharing their accommodation with. Yes, all those people who are surrounding our students, they need all those mental health resources to help them to cope with stress, so that they are not anxious. We want them to cope with stress. We want them to cope with anxiety and any other challenges that they may face. Because if they've got, they are stressed up, they've got the anxiety, it means at the end of the day, it is going to affect their academic success. So we need to help them. And the services that can be looked at when you are looking at mental health resources, we are looking at offering individual counseling. Sometimes it's needed, and sometimes group counseling. For example, something has happened to one of the students and it is affecting everyone in that faculty. You need to offer the group counseling, and also sometimes you need to offer couple counseling if it is affecting the students in the campus. We know that we also have our workers who work there. Sometimes some of them are couples, or we also have couples, student couples that also need the counseling. And you also need to look at the peer support groups. Do we have them at our campuses, at our educational institutions? These are very important because they provide a safe space for students to connect with others, especially who share similar experiences. We also had one whereby this child was coming, was staying with stepdad, and they could share their experiences. So mental health awareness campaigns also need to be done so that we want to promote mental health awareness, and we want to reduce the stigma because this also affects their social and emotional learning. Then for the student support, lastly, we want to look at the safe spaces. Have we established designated areas for students to go and discuss sensitive topics or concerns that they have? We need to have those safe spaces in our campuses so that our students can feel that they can go and discuss anything that they would like to bring along. So these safe spaces, they can provide our students with a place to feel comfortable. They also need to feel supported without fear, without judgment, or any discriminations. And as students, we should feel safe also to go and talk to counselors that we have. So these spaces, for example, in a campus, they can include counseling offices. Do we have counseling offices that offer private counseling support? And do we also have student organizations which provide a sense of belonging and community? We normally have this SRCs, and then we can also have designated quiet areas which can provide a space for our students to go and relax and distress. So by creating these inclusive and welcoming spaces and providing mental health resources and establishing safe spaces, we can offer a supportive environment for our students. And a supportive campus environment can help our students to feel connected, more connected, to be engaged, and to be successful, especially in their academic pursuits. And we need to create a campus where all our students feel valued, where our students feel respected, and where all our students feel supported. And I would like to also look at this I've already talked about, inclusive environment, strong community, fostering a sense of belonging and connection among our students, and then mental health support for everyone, and offering academic support. Sometimes our students remain behind. Do we offer academic support for those who are lagging behind, or do we offer academic support those who are excelling well, and mentorship programs and tutoring to help our students achieve their goals? And lastly, career development. Are we assisting our students in exploring career paths? Because sometimes they get stressed up. I've noticed that sometimes our students, when they come to our universities, they choose the degree programs that maybe after one semester, they feel that they can no longer move on. So we need to talk to them, look at their career paths, and help them. And we also need to build professional networks. For example, we have LinkedIn, students' bodies? Do we have different universities? Do our students normally meet and discuss about the challenges that they face? Because some challenges are unique to a particular college or a particular university, and developing those essential skills. And lastly, I would like to look at tips for students. How can we cultivate essential skills? Because we know that these skills that I am going to talk about, we look at self-awareness, I've already talked about. And when you're looking at self-awareness for students who are here or who might be listening, we know that self-awareness is the foundation of our personal growth. So by understanding our own emotions, thoughts, and strengths, we can make better decisions. And we need to manage stress more effectively and build stronger relationship. And how can we do this? By paying attention to our thoughts, our feelings, without any judgment. Sometimes we judge ourselves too much, so much that we can end up with depression. So we need to practice mindfulness and pay attention to our own thoughts. What is our head saying? Sometimes we hear voices. What is that voice saying? And we need to make informed decisions. And then we need to keep a journal. Do we have journals as students, as lecturers, whereby we write down our thoughts and feelings? And this can help us to gain insights into ourselves. Sometimes we do not know ourselves. So we need to keep those journals or ask trusted friends and mentors for also their honest feedback. And secondly, we need to also look at empathy. And when we are looking at empathy, we are looking at that ability to understand and share the feeling of others. You put yourselves in one's shoes. That is what we call empathy. So we need to empathize with others, because it is very essential for building strong relationships and creating supportive community. And we can develop empathy in several ways: by putting ourselves into others' shoes, trying to see things from their perspective, and then being able to listen actively. Like I said, active listening is very, very important. When you are talking about active listening, we are looking at it's a communication skill that is about being present in the conversation and giving full attention to the person whom we are talking to, by showing your openness, by showing your interest and respect. And this ability to actively listen can also help strengthen personal relationships through creating understanding and improving cooperation, and it can reduce conflicts. There are so many ways we can do for active listening that you can also look at it. We need to maintain eye contact, avoid interrupting, asking clarifying questions. There are so many things that you can do, especially for active listening. Then effective communication. Communication is very important in the way that this is how you can understand other people's, how they are feeling when you are talking to them. So it is essential, especially for building relationships. This is how we can also resolve our conflicts and achieve our goals, through effective communication. And you can help yourself by expressing yourself clearly, concisely, using clear language, avoid jargon, listening actively, paying attention to what others are saying, and responding thoughtfully, because sometimes we need to develop that big ear and not that big mouth. So we need to be assertive, express your needs and opinions respectively. And a student also, we need to look at relationship building. Building strong relationships is very crucial for personal and professional success. And we can also build positive relationships. If ourselves, we can show integrity, we should be trustworthy, we should be people who are reliable, and we also keep our promises and be there for others when they need you, not to disappear. You want people to help you, but when people are also in difficult situations, you should be seen to be there for others. And then also showing empathy and compassion. I think I've talked about this for quite a long time. Understanding and caring about others' feelings, and looking at how we resolve conflicts. And we know that conflict is a natural part of our lives, and learning to resolve conflicts peacefully is an essential skill that helps us as students, as lecturers, as educators. And we can resolve conflicts, especially through effective communication, communicating openly. Do we communicate honestly? How do we express our feelings and our needs? And also look for areas, finding common grounds when we have got conflicts, and looking for areas where we can agree. And then last but not least, mindfulness, whereby we are practicing paying attention to the present moment without judging ourselves. I think I've talked about this one as well. And when we are talking about mindfulness, we are talking about how we focus your breath. When you are depressed, sometimes you know that sometimes we don't think properly. Pay attention to your breath and let go of any thoughts and let go of any worries that you might be having. Because sometimes if you do not do that, you end up making decisions that can impact the way you do your things, or impact your academic success or your career success. And we need to practice what we call meditation. And there are many different meditation techniques that you can try. You can Google that and look at how you can meditate. Find a quiet place where you can go and think about whatever problems that you have, your challenges. What is it that you are planning? What are your goals? Go and meditate about it and think about it. And we should be mindful of our eating, paying attention to the text, to the taste, to the texture and smell of the food that we eat, because sometimes it also affects our social and emotional ability. Then sometimes when we are in a campus, when we are mindful, we are concentrating on our books, we are concentrating on our academics, our dissertation. Sometimes we also need to go out there, get involved in clubs, join clubs and organizations that can help provide opportunities for us to meet new people, develop new skills, and also make a positive impact on our community. And lastly, we need to utilize our campus resources. Like I have already said, students, we need to utilize our campus resources. We know that our universities, our colleges likely offer that variety of resources to support us, support our academic and personal success. So we should take advantage of these resources. For example, counseling services. If we are struggling with stress, we are struggling with anxiety, or any other personal challenges, we need to go for counseling services. We need also to help. We have academic advising, and if we need help with course selection or academic planning, we have got the academic advisors at our different institutions that we have. And career services. Suppose now we are looking at job opportunities. We have people in our campuses who are able to advise us on our career services or choice of subjects. So by developing all these essential skills, we can enhance our academic and personal success. We can also build strong relationships and lead a more fulfilling life. And remember that it takes time and practice to develop these skills. So we need to be patient, we need to be persistent. And I know with a lot of effort and dedication, we can achieve our goals and make a positive impact in the world, because social and emotional learning, it affects each and everyone who is here. And I would like to say thank you so much. I've come to the end of my presentation, and I would like to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you here today to discuss about how we can integrate social and emotional learning in our educational institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gonde, for this remarkable session. Now it's time for question answer. So participants, if you have any questions, you may ask or you can type in the chat box. And also, the feedback link of this program is on the chat box. So please fill the form before you leave this session. Participants, any questions?
Hi, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Xiaomi from St. Aloysius College. Ma'am, in your experience, how does fostering the supportive campus culture through this SEL system, do you have any case studies that you demonstrate with this impact?
Yes, you mean with the experiential learning?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes, we have students whom we have sent to different institutions here in Zimbabwe, for example, for their internship programs, and different parts of Zimbabwe, different cultures, the different way of doing things. Sometimes our students face a lot of challenges, and when they report back to the institution that this is what we are facing, then that's when we help them socially and emotionally to fit into those institutions, because they are in a community. We want them to learn. We want also them to engage with others in the community. So this is how we have gone about it, and we go and talk to the communities, because before we send our students there, we visit those institutions. They know what we expect our students to go and do there. And sometimes they face challenges with their mentors, with their leaders there. And that's where we go in and talk to them. Just, I think 2 weeks ago, we were at another institution where our students were facing difficulties to fit into the routine that was done at that particular educational institution. This is where we had to go in and intervene and talk to the people whom we had sent our students to. And that's how we help them. We have also counseling services for them.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's okay. Any other?
There's a question in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. One more question by a participant. The relevance of inculcating SEL in workplace in enhancing employee morale and importance of performance.
Okay. All right. How we can inculcate social and emotional learning in the workplace in enhancing employee morale and performance. I know that in our organization, sometimes we face challenges. Sometimes our employee morale is down and their performance is down. So as leaders as well, we need to sit down, do SWOT analysis. What is it that the employees are facing? And then sometimes we need to talk to them, find out what their problems, their challenges that they are facing. And we sometimes need to get expert advice outside the workplace, because sometimes you are the problem that the employees are facing, and sometimes going to them might worsen the situation. So sometimes you need to get expert advice, people who can come and talk to them and find out what their problems are. I know that last year we call it the Pundamilia. We found a different company that came into our organization, talked to our employees, any challenges that they were facing, and this was done. And then that organization came to the management to give feedback. And some of the things that we assumed that they were quite beneficial to our employees, we saw that they didn't quite get them. So using that organization, it helped at quite a lot. But as for example, as a leader, you need to relate to everyone who is in your organization. Give them time also for you to talk to them. Put yourself in their shoes, because sometimes we do not empathize them. Someone comes to your workplace and they are not feeling well, or something has happened, and we do not listen to them. Sometimes it lowers their morale in their performance. So we need to understand their emotions and put yourselves in their shoes, so that at least you can be able to address any challenges that they have. And we can boost morale in so many ways: workshops, training, going out as a group. I know that as employees in our company, right now we have some people who are in Cape Town, they go and distress, they come back as a team. Team building, we do a lot of team building, whereby we are all equal, everyone doing the same things. We try to distress and come back to work. And that's when we also learn about the strengths and weaknesses of some people. Sometimes we assume people, we don't know what their strengths are. So if you do those team building exercises, they can also help. And I've got another question. How do you address the changes in the attitudes of students? Yeah. With the attitude of students, we need to believe them. Sometimes we have to put ourselves also in the shoes of students. If I was a student, what do we do? As students, we also make sure that we have leaders, the SRC, we have, for example, in our colleges, we have the Student Representative Council. We can also make use of the Student Representative Council, because as peers, they know they have the same challenges. So we need to talk to them, sit down with them, and map a way forward with our Student Representative Council. We also need to sit down with our students, talk to them, call for a meeting, talk to them, find their challenges, group discussions, so that at least we are working at the same level, and then come up with any solutions together with them, so that they have that sense of belonging. Sometimes we are too dictative, we dictate quite a lot, and some of the students, they might not like it. So we need to be inclusive, because we are living with students. Some of us were born before technology. We call ourselves BBTs. So we need to sit down with students, be at their own level, and find out what challenges they have, and then find out if we can help them. If we cannot help them, we also make use of other people, expertise, advice from other colleges. We also see how other universities or other colleges have solved the same problems. So this is how best we can help them. I know sometimes they start with one program, they want to change with another program. They need a lot of advice from us. We are the role models. They need a lot of advice. Sit down with them, talk to them as mothers and fathers, so that they have that sense of belonging.
Thank you, ma'am. So any other questions, participants? Okay. So kindly request the participants to switch on the camera to take a group photo.
It's done, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. So now I invite Dr. Shaun K.S., Assistant Professor, Department of Botany and Computational Biology of St. Lucia's College for proposing vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to making today's session on fostering a supportive campus culture, the benefits of integrating social and emotional learning into higher education curricula, a grand success. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere thanks to Dr. Chako Josby, our esteemed principal of St. Aloysius College, Elthurut, for his warm and encouraging welcome address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
A special note of appreciation goes to Ms. Bhagilakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of English, for her gracious introduction of our speaker, paving the way for an enlightening and thought-provoking session. Thank you, ma'am. We are immensely grateful to Dr. Patricia Gonde, whose expertise and engaging approach brought valuable perspectives on integrating social and emotional learning into higher education. Your insights have certainly given us much to reflect on as we aim to foster a more supportive and holistic campus culture. Last, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this enlightening session. Last, but certainly not least, a big thank you to all the participants who joined us today and patiently attended the program. Your presence and attentions are truly appreciated. Thank you all. Thank you once again, and we look forward to many more such enriching sessions in the future. Thanks a lot. Thank you.